Hey guys, it's Kelly here from KM Nutrition and Wellness. Welcome to this very first video I'm ever shooting and putting out into the public. So bear with me if there's a few little glitches here and there. You never know what is going to happen when you start to roll the camera. Today I'm here to talk to you about my 3 favorite refined sugar substitutes. So what I use as opposed to white sugar or highly refined sugar options. If you know me, you know that I'm a self-proclaimed sugar addict. I've definitely struggled with a sugar addiction in the past. I came from a family where we liked our junk food a lot. My friends can attest to the fact that I had an entire pantry devoted to junk food and sugar and refined flour products like crackers and cookies and all that fun stuff. We had, 5 to 10 different kinds of ice cream in the freezer at any given moment. So in growing up, I started to realize that that wasn't really the healthy way to live, and I've been on this journey of self-discovery since. And today I'm going to share with you what I use in my baked goods, in my tea, etc., that is not refined white sugar. Okay? So the very first item is quite Canadian of me, and I'm going to mention it because I think it's probably my favorite alternative. It's maple syrup, of course. So maple syrup is awesome for you. It's not refined. Literally what it is it's the sap from the tree boiled down. So when you're looking to buy maple syrup, just make sure that exactly what you're getting is pure maple syrup. It's amazing because it's got also trace minerals. Whereas sugar, when you have it, there is absolutely no substance to it. It is literally, there's nothing there. At least with things like maple syrup, stuff that occurs naturally or is found naturally in nature, there are usually some trace minerals or other small benefits that come along with it. In terms of maple syrup, what we're looking at is things like manganese, potassium, zinc, magnesium. They're all in maple syrup, even if it's in small amounts. Manganese and zinc actually can act as antioxidants in our immune system, so it's not a bad thing to have that in small amounts if you're going to have a little bit of a sweetener. The second option that I use to sweeten things is actually honey. So this is something that, of course, most people have in their pantry as well. The reason why I love honey is that it's actually antimicrobial, antibacterial, and it's really, really awesome on burns, apparently. So instead of reaching for that chemical-filled ointment like polysporin, you can just grab some honey, slather it on. It's supposed to help quite a bit. In terms of honey, when you're looking, look for something that's raw, unfiltered, and unpasteurized. It's probably best to look at your local farmer's market or find local honey producers because, again, buying local always supports the economy. But also, this is where you're going to find the best quality honey. You're going to find it unpasteurized, which means that the nutrients and the enzymes are still there, they're still active, and you're going to find it unfiltered. That's another thing you should look for, is when it's unfiltered, it means a bit of the bee pollen is still in there, and the bee pollen is quite beneficial for you as well. The third option that I use as a sugar substitute is actually stevia. So I use liquid stevia sometimes when I'm sweetening certain things. Like if I've got a green smoothie and I didn't put any fruit in, I'll sometimes put in a couple of drops of stevia to sweeten that a little bit. The reason I like stevia is that it actually is not made up of sugars at all. It's from the stevia leaf, and it doesn't have any sugar, so there's going to be no effect on my blood sugar to spike it. So if I just want a little bit of a sweetness, but without having to add any calories, then stevia is the place to go. When looking for or buying stevia, just make sure that you stay away from any of the powders that have any additives in it. Things like dextrose and other stevia sugar blends, you want to stay away from those. You also want to make sure that it's not highly processed. When you're looking at liquids, make sure to avoid anything that's got alcohol in it. That's probably the best quality for you. So now, looking back on these 3 options, of course I use them at different times. I really like to use my maple syrup when I'm making things like my own chocolate or my own desserts. If I'm making cookies or if I'm making muffins, that's where maple syrup and honey will come in at that time. Like I said, my stevia is used if I just want a little bit of sweetness in a pretty tart or a little more bitter smoothie. I've tried the stevia when I've been making my own chocolate, and I didn't like how it worked with the cacao powder, but I've heard a lot of people say it's good in baking. So It's up to you to figure out what your best or your favorite refined sugar alternatives are, but these three do the job for me, and I absolutely love them all. Okay? So thanks for tuning in, and I hope you learned something, and if you didn't learn something, I hope that you at least enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for subscribing to my emails and for being a part of this Wellness Warrior tribe and family. I'm so happy to have you, and I hope you guys have a nice day. Thanks, guys!